before getting into the video, I do want to say that I am not a professional when it comes to money. I am no Caleb Hammer, I am no Graham Stephan, but I do know a thing or two when it comes to budgeting for beginners. So I'm just going to tell you guys some basic information. If you already know this stuff, then please be kind in the comment section, because this video is for those that didn't know this stuff. So I know a lot of you get a little aggravated when some of my content is a little too basic, but sometimes we need basic videos in order to help others. First thing is to set financial goals. Determine what you want to achieve with your money, like saving for a vacation, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund. I'm going to tell you guys this: if you do not set yourself a financial goal, the money you have saved, you will feel like, well, the money is there, I have the money, I can just purchase this for now, and then it just keeps adding up. I used to do that. I didn't have a financial goal for the money that I had in savings back in the day, and I ended up spending all of it stupidly. So once when I figured, all right, the goal I want is to move out of my mom's. The next goal I want is to purchase a decent car, a reliable car. So basically what I'm trying to say is try your best to create a financial goal. What is that money you're saving? What is it for? Is it for to like pay off your debt? Is it for to buy a new house, a down payment on a house, a new car, a down payment on a new car? Like, what is that money for? Because I guarantee you guys, if you do not make a financial goal for that cash you have saved or that you're going to save, you will spend it silly, or someone else will have plans with your money. And also, you guys, that was a lesson that I had to keep relearning over and over again. Luckily, in my late 20s, I figured it out. I figured that I needed to have a set financial goal in order for me not to touch that cash. It truly does help out, because it's kind of like you're stealing from yourself. So if that money is for a down payment on a house and you keep taking money out, you're technically stealing from yourself, because then you have to work 10 times harder to build that money back up. Next is to track your income. Record your sources of income, such as your salary, freelance work, or any other income streams. I used to do this constantly when I worked at all of my other jobs. I've had so many jobs before doing YouTube full time, and even when I was doing sponsorships when it came to YouTube, I always wrote down what brands owed me. Obviously I haven't been doing any sponsorships. I think it's gonna be almost a year I haven't had a sponsorship, but that's another story for another day. I will say though, this whole track your income thing worked so well when I lived alone. So I remember always writing things down in I had like a little piece of paper. I wrote down like all my bills, my income. I think I actually recorded it back in the day too. I think I have a video on how I budgeted, and it was like a little piece of paper, had like blocks and stuff, and I used to just write things down really quick. So I highly suggest you guys to purchase a little notebook. They're fairly cheap, and you can just write down your income. You can even on the other side like put your bills. I used to do that constantly, and it would help me keep track of what's coming in and what's going out. Also, if you know what you're going to make, say you're on a salary, you can put the amount you're making, even though it's the same every month. You can put the amount and put a check mark next to it if you received that money. Whether it's through direct deposit, cash, or check, put a check mark if you received it. And if you didn't put a check mark, that means you didn't receive that money. So you kind of have like an old school sheet on what came in and what didn't come in. Speaking of bills, the next thing is to list your expenses. Make a list of all your monthly expenses, including bills, groceries, transportation, entertainment, and savings. So I still do that till this day. I always write down, I have like a separate notebook. I don't share it online anymore, but I have a separate notebook that I write down our rent, our light bill, my cat's bills. So if he went to the vet this month, I will write that down. Our grocery bill. It's always good to list your expenses. That way you can kind of see like what you can eliminate. I will say I have eliminated quite a few things within my budget. I cut down completely on skincare. I'm actually going through a skincare a skin issue right now, and a lot of the products that I was using and spending my hard-earned money on was not working out for me, and it caused a little bit of a reaction. So with that being said, I cut down my skincare routine, which is saving me money and also saving my skin. Another thing I crossed off of my list in order to save money was the apps that I was using, certain apps to edit my thumbnails. Low for free apps to edit my thumbnails, and now I don't have to pay for that, so I canceled those subscriptions. So basically what I'm trying to say is, when you have your bills listed on a piece of paper, or whether you type things out in the notes section on your phone or your laptop, it's fairly easy to see what you can take out of your budget and put that leftover money that you were going to spend on a bill, put that money into savings. Differentiate needs versus wants. Categorize your expenses into essential needs, rent, utilities, and non-essential wants such as dining out and entertainment. We used to dine out a lot. I want to say maybe around 2017 to 2019, we used to dine out every weekend. And obviously things are very different now. We're still trying to save for a house. It's very, very expensive with the high interest rates and everything going on. So we don't eat out as much as we used to. I have learned how to cook a lot of things from home. Our favorite items, I've learned how to cook them at home. And I will say, when we do go out to eat, if we do go out to eat, it's usually for special occasions. It's not like, oh, I don't feel like cooking today, let's just go out. It's always for like a special occasion, whether it's a birthday, family get together, that's when we go out to eat. So going out to eat is not an essential for us. I feel like it's a huge price tag when you go out to eat. For 2 people alone, it costs us almost $70. And obviously I do live in Boston, so things are expensive here. This is the city. Going out to eat is a no-go. Eating at home, even though the food in the grocery stores are fairly expensive, I have found quite a few recipes that are cheaper and stuff like that. So anyways, not to make this a big spiel, this is self-explanatory. Try to make a list of essentials and non-essentials. If your non-essential list is bigger than your main essential list, it's time to cut things out from your non-essentials in order to save money. And the last thing is to create a budget. Save specific amounts to each expense category based on your income. Ensure your total expenses don't exceed your income. This is self-explanatory, and this is something that I never understood on why, or where my money was going, I should say. I just didn't create a budget, and when I did create a budget, I didn't stick to the budget. When you create a budget, you guys are gonna hate me saying that word, but when you create a budget, try your best to stick to it. Try your best to realize if you go over it, even if it's $20 to $30, you have to try to make that money back and some in order for your savings account to not suffer. For me back then, I had far too many budgets, I would say, like when it came to clothes, makeup, shoes, purses. I tried to create a budget for each category, and then I soon realized I don't really like purses, so I can cut that budget out because I don't need purses anymore. I'm dealing with the clothes that I have, so I can cut the whole new clothes budget out. So there were certain budgets that I decided to cut out in order to save more money. And basically I realized that what I own or what I have is everything that I need and more. It made me respect not just my money, but it made me respect what I owned, and it made me feel like, all right, if I take care of this sweater, if I wash it with just the whites and not with the colored clothes, then this sweater will last a lot longer. It won't look as dingy. And I've owned this sweater for like, I want to say like 4 or 5 years now. So this is just a little bit of an example on what I went through when it came to creating budgets. Try not to overdo it with certain things. If you feel that you don't need a budget for this particular item because you're over it, or these particular items, then cut that out of your life completely. That way you don't have to think of creating a budget because you don't spend your money on that stuff anymore. Once again, I am not a professional. I even struggled a little bit with trying to explain these things because I am not a money professional. I just keep it very, very basic at the moment because that's just what works for me right now. So try not to be too hard on yourself when it comes to learning about money. Try not to dive too deep and feel overwhelmed when it comes to the other side of money with investing, stock market, all that stuff. Learning about that stuff will come. The best thing you can learn right now is the bare basics.